Good morning, dear friends. Welcome back to Dr. Kim's Home Clinic, a place where we believe that health and longevity start with small daily choices, especially for our beloved seniors. Let me tell you a true story. A few weeks ago, I was walking through the park at dawn. The air was crisp, birds were chirping, and the world was just waking up. That's when I saw Mr. Hoa, one of my longtime patients, sitting quietly on a bench, his shoulders slightly hunched, his gaze distant. I greeted him with a smile and asked, "Good morning, Mr. Hoa. How are you feeling today?" He smiled weakly and said, "Doctor, I'm always so tired in the mornings lately. Even when I eat something, I still feel sluggish. Sometimes my heart feels heavy and I get this strange pressure in my chest." Naturally concerned, I asked, "What do you usually eat for breakfast?" He replied, "Just a cup of coffee, maybe a sweet bun. Some days, nothing at all. I just drink some water and go out to the market." At that moment, I paused, because Mr. Hoa's routine, though simple and familiar, was exactly what I'd been warning many of my senior patients about. You see, what we eat in the morning can either heal us or harm us. Especially as we age, the liver becomes more sensitive, the kidneys less efficient, and the heart more vulnerable. Our bodies are no longer as forgiving as they once were. So today, I want to walk with you, just like I did with Mr. Hoa, through 5 simple, healing morning foods that support your liver, kidneys, and heart, naturally and gently. These aren't exotic or expensive superfoods. In fact, you may already have them in your kitchen. They're the kinds of foods that, when chosen wisely, help you wake up with energy, stay sharp throughout the day, and keep your heart strong for years to come. Are you ready? Let's take this first small step together, starting with your very next breakfast. 1. Whole grain bread, a heart's best friend. Let's begin our journey with something humble, simple, but surprisingly powerful. Whole grain bread. Most people are familiar with white bread. It's soft, sweet, and convenient. But did you know that white bread is made by stripping away the most nutritious parts of the grain? What's left is mostly starch, which spikes your blood sugar and does very little to nourish your body. Whole grain bread, on the other hand, is a treasure trove of nutrients, fiber, B vitamins, iron, and plant-based compounds that support your heart, liver, and blood vessels. I remember one of my patients, Mrs. Han, an 80-year-old widow with a bright smile and gentle eyes. She had been living with type 2 diabetes for years. When she came to me complaining of morning dizziness and sudden drops in energy, I asked her to bring me her typical breakfast. She showed me a photo: sticky rice with pork floss one day, a buttery pastry the next, and sometimes even nothing at all. We made one small change, switching to 2 slices of whole grain toast in the morning, topped with a bit of avocado or a hard-boiled egg. Nothing fancy, no pills, no expensive supplements. Within 3 months, her blood sugar readings were more stable, and that morning dizziness? Gone. So what exactly makes whole grain bread a heart's best friend? Let me explain. It slows down digestion, keeping you full longer and preventing blood sugar spikes, especially important for seniors with diabetes or metabolic syndrome. It's rich in soluble fiber, which binds to LDL cholesterol and helps flush it out of the body. It contains magnesium and B-complex vitamins, essential for heart rhythm, nerve function, and energy production. It eases the workload on your liver by reducing insulin demand, which in turn protects you from developing fatty liver disease. But there's a catch. Not all brown breads are truly whole grain. Some are just white bread colored with molasses. So when you shop, look for 100% whole grain or whole wheat on the label. At least 3 to 5 grams of fiber per slice. Low in added sugar. Avoid honey wheat types. And remember, don't overload it with butter, jam, or processed spreads. Keep it simple. Pair it with a protein, like a boiled egg, a spoon of nut butter, or slices of avocado, and you've got a meal that's gentle on the liver, protective of your heart, and energizing for your morning. It's amazing how just one slice of the right bread can make your whole morning and your whole day better. 2. Ripe bananas. potassium for your heart and liver. Let me take you back to a small clinic visit I'll never forget. Mr. Tuan, 76 years old, came in complaining of strange leg cramps that woke him up at night, a racing heart after climbing stairs, and occasional dizziness. His blood pressure was slightly elevated, and blood tests showed that his potassium level was borderline low. I asked him about his meals, especially breakfast. He replied, "Mostly rice or porridge, no fruits. I don't really eat bananas. I heard they cause bloating." This is a common misunderstanding among older adults. But here's the truth. A ripe banana, soft golden yellow with brown speckles, is one of the best natural sources of potassium, a mineral that's essential for regulating blood pressure, supporting heart rhythm, and balancing fluid in the body. What's more, potassium helps the kidneys filter waste more efficiently and assists the liver in metabolizing nutrients without overworking. And yet, many seniors avoid bananas out of fear they'll cause indigestion. The secret lies in choosing ripe bananas, not green ones. Unripe bananas contain more resistant starch, which can be hard to digest. But a fully ripe banana is gentle on the stomach, sweet, and easy to absorb. Why is this fruit so important for seniors? Here's what just one ripe banana each morning can do. Lower blood pressure naturally by balancing out the sodium in your body. Prevent muscle cramps, especially at night or after walking. Support smooth heartbeat, especially in seniors with irregular rhythms or arrhythmias. Provide natural energy without the blood sugar crash of sweetbreads or sugary drinks. Aid in regular bowel movements, easing constipation common in aging. And perhaps best of all, it requires no preparation. Just peel and enjoy. Back to Mr. Tuan. I encouraged him to start each day with one ripe banana, ideally paired with a few almonds or a small cup of yogurt. 2 weeks later, he returned with a big smile. "No more cramps, Doc. I actually feel lighter in the mornings." So here's my advice to you. Choose bananas that are fully ripe, yellow with brown spots. Store them at room temperature, and if they ripen too quickly, peel and freeze for later. If you're diabetic, pair your banana with protein or fiber to slow sugar absorption. A banana is more than just a fruit. For seniors, it's a gentle, healing medicine from nature, balancing electrolytes, nourishing your heart, and giving your morning a smooth, steady start. 3. Boiled sweet potatoes. Gentle on your kidneys and liver, some of the best healing foods don't come in fancy packages or from expensive stores. Sometimes they come from the simplest places, like your backyard or your neighborhood market. Let me tell you about one such food: boiled sweet potatoes. A few years ago, I had a patient, Mrs. Lon, 82 years old. She had been struggling with sluggish digestion, occasional bloating, and elevated liver enzymes. Her doctor had recommended medication, but she wanted to try food therapy first. When I asked about her diet, breakfast consisted of heavy options: fried eggs, processed meats, and occasionally instant noodles. So I made a small suggestion. "Mrs. Lon, why not try replacing those with one medium-sized boiled sweet potato in the morning?" She looked surprised. "That simple?" "Yes, that's simple." Within just a few weeks, her bloating decreased, bowel movements improved, and her liver tests showed steady improvement. Here's why boiled sweet potatoes are a gift to your kidneys, liver, and overall health, especially for seniors. 1. Rich in antioxidants. Sweet potatoes are high in beta-carotene, which converts to vitamin A in your body. This helps reduce inflammation and protects liver cells from oxidative stress. 2. Supports kidney function. Sweet potatoes are naturally low in sodium and rich in potassium, which helps balance electrolytes and reduces the strain on kidneys, particularly important for seniors with early-stage kidney issues or high blood pressure. 3. Promotes gentle digestion. The soluble fiber in sweet potatoes acts like a gentle broom, cleaning your intestines and making bowel movements more regular. This reduces the liver's burden of processing toxins from the gut. 4. Blood sugar friendly. Despite their sweetness, sweet potatoes have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't spike blood sugar levels like white rice or pastries. For seniors managing type 2 diabetes, this is a smart, steady energy source. 5. Easy to prepare and eat. Just wash, steam, or boil. No oil, no frying, no fancy ingredients. And the natural sweetness? That's your morning treat, with zero processed sugar. A few tips from me as your doctor. Choose purple or orange sweet potatoes. Both are rich in antioxidants. Eat with the skin on, if possible, to get the full fiber benefit. Just make sure to wash thoroughly. Avoid adding butter, sugar, or condensed milk. Those cancel out the health benefits. Mrs. Lon told me later, "Doctor, I never thought something so simple could make such a big difference. I even sleep better now." That's the magic of real food. When you treat your kidneys and liver with kindness, they return the favor. And for seniors, a soft, warm, sweet potato in the morning is like a hug for your insides. It's gentle, it's healing, and it's one more step toward a longer, healthier life. 4. Plain yogurt, healing the gut to protect the liver and heart. Let me share a story that begins with the stomach, but ends with a stronger heart and a healthier liver. Mr. Ba, 79 years old, came to see me for constant fatigue and a dull ache below his ribs. "It's not sharp pain, doctor," he said, "just discomfort, especially after eating." We ran some tests. His liver was mildly fatty, his cholesterol was up, but more interestingly, he had gut dysbiosis, an imbalance of bacteria in the intestines. He often experienced bloating, constipation, and bad breath, all signs that the gut was sending distress signals. That's when I introduced him to a simple food with a powerful job: plain, unsweetened yogurt. He frowned at first. "I've never liked sour things," he admitted. But I asked him to try half a cup each morning after breakfast for just 2 weeks. What happened next surprised even him. "Doctor, my stomach feels calm now. I don't get gassy, and I have more energy in the afternoon. My wife says I even smile more." Let's talk about why plain yogurt, especially when consumed in the morning, is such a healing agent for seniors. 1. Rich in probiotics, the good bacteria. Yogurt is full of live cultures that help restore balance in your gut. A healthy gut helps break down food efficiently, reducing pressure on the liver. Absorb key nutrients, especially B vitamins and calcium. Regulate inflammation, which is a root cause of many chronic diseases. Boost immunity, because 70% of your immune cells live in your gut, too. Supports liver detox and heart health. When your gut is inflamed or constipated, toxins can leak into your bloodstream, making the liver work overtime. By improving gut flora, yogurt reduces this burden, letting the liver focus on filtering real toxins instead of fighting off bad bacteria. Also, studies show that probiotics may lower LDL cholesterol and reduce blood pressure, 2 major heart risk factors in the elderly. 3. A natural aid for digestion. For seniors who struggle with acid reflux gas or bloating, sluggish digestion, yogurt helps smooth the entire process, naturally, gently, and without medication. But choose carefully. Not all yogurts are created equal. Avoid fruit-flavored, sweetened, or light yogurts loaded with artificial sweeteners. Instead, look for plain, unsweetened yogurt contains live active cultures on the label. Low fat or full fat. Both are fine as long as sugar is low. Greek yogurt is great, higher in protein, thicker in texture. Best time to eat it? Always after breakfast, not on an empty stomach, to avoid stomach acid neutralizing the good bacteria. Pair with a few slices of banana or berries, a teaspoon of chia seeds, a sprinkle of oats. Back to Mr. Ba. After 3 weeks of daily yogurt, not only was his digestion better, but his liver enzymes improved slightly. He felt lighter, slept deeper, and even said, "I don't get that heavy feeling after meals anymore. Yogurt might be my new favorite breakfast." And I smiled, knowing that sometimes the best medicine isn't medicine at all. So if you're looking for a gentle, healing start to your day, consider this humble food. 1 spoon at a time. It cleans your gut, protects your liver, and supports your heart from the inside out. 5. Boiled eggs. The perfect protein for aging bodies. This next food is one of the most misunderstood, yet also one of the most complete sources of nutrition, especially for seniors. Yes, I'm talking about boiled eggs. Let me tell you about Mr. Than. 81 years old, former school teacher, sharp mind, soft voice. He came into my office one day and said, "Doctor, I'm losing muscle. My legs feel weak. I tire easily, and I don't want to depend on a cane." When I looked at his diet, it was mostly carbs, rice, porridge, bread, very little protein. And when I asked if he ate eggs, he said, "No, I was told they're bad for my cholesterol. Haven't touched them in years." That's when I knew we needed to change that. Boiled eggs. Nature's nutrient capsule. 1 boiled egg contains over 13 essential nutrients, including high-quality protein to rebuild muscles and tissues, choline to support liver function and protect memory, vitamin D, B12, and selenium, all critical for immune health and energy, lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that protect aging eyes. For seniors, protein is vital, not just for strength, but for preventing muscle loss, sarcopenia, which is a leading cause of falls, frailty, and hospitalizations. What about cholesterol? Here's the truth. Yes, egg yolks contain cholesterol, about 186 ml per yolk. But for most people, eating eggs in moderation does not significantly raise blood cholesterol. In fact, many seniors benefit from the nutrients in the yolk, especially choline, which supports liver metabolism and brain health. So what do I recommend? 1 yolk plus 2 egg whites in the morning. This combination gives you full flavor, enough healthy fat, and plenty of clean, lean protein without overwhelming your liver or blood vessels. Why boiled and not fried? Boiled eggs are easy to digest, oil-free, unlike fried eggs, which can be heavy on the liver. Portable. You can prepare a few in advance and grab them on the go, safer for seniors with a gallbladder or liver issues. The bigger picture, eggs plus breakfast synergy. I often suggest pairing boiled eggs with whole grain toast for complex carbs and fiber, sliced tomatoes or avocado for antioxidants and heart-healthy fats, green tea or warm water with lemon to support digestion and hydration. Mr. Than followed this plan for just a month. He came back smiling and said, "I've got more spring in my step. My legs feel stronger. I even walked out to the library again." Sometimes it's not about adding more. It's about adding what's right. And boiled eggs? They're small but mighty. They rebuild your body, nourish your brain, and support your liver with every bite, especially when you treat them with respect. If you're a senior who's been afraid of eggs, I invite you to rethink them, not as the enemy, but as one of the most complete healing foods nature ever gave us. Just 1 egg a day, prepared simply, eaten mindfully, can help you stay strong, clear-headed, and full of life. Now that we've explored 5 healing morning foods, you might be wondering, but what if I've been doing the opposite all these years? What if my current morning habits are actually harming my body? Well, you're not alone. Many of the seniors I meet, people who mean well, who are doing their best, have unknowingly developed morning routines that silently wear down the liver, stress the kidneys, and overwork the heart. Not suddenly, not painfully, but slowly, day by day. Let me tell you about one of them. Mr. Sun's story. A morning that seemed normal, until it wasn't. Mr. Sun, 74, had a strict morning routine. He'd wake up, grab a glass of cold water from the fridge, sit down to instant noodles with pickled vegetables, and finish it off with strong black coffee. No breakfast otherwise. He thought he was saving time, but within a few months, he began feeling nausea in the mornings. irregular heartbeat, swelling in the ankles, and mental fog that lasted until noon. When we reviewed his labs, his liver enzymes were elevated, his creatinine levels were creeping up, and his blood pressure was unstable. He looked at me and said, "Doctor, I didn't know breakfast could hurt me like this. That's why I'm sharing these next 5 harmful habits, so you don't have to find out the hard way." Because just like the right foods can heal your organs, the wrong morning habits, if repeated over years, can quietly do the opposite. Habit number 1, drinking black coffee on an empty stomach. Let me start with something I see almost every day, especially among older men who were once soldiers, teachers, or hardworking farmers. They wake up early. Before eating anything, they reach for their morning ritual, a strong, hot cup of black coffee. They sit quietly, staring out the window, sipping slowly. It seems peaceful, even healthy. But inside the body, something very different is happening. Mr. Fuck's story. "It's just coffee, Doc." Mr. Fucky, 70, came to see me after feeling lightheaded and nauseated in the mornings. He also had some trembling in his hands and occasional heart palpitations. When I asked him about his morning routine, he said, "Nothing much, Doc. I just drink a cup of black coffee first thing. Then I start my day. No food, no water, just coffee." Here's what I explained to him, and what I'd like to share with you: why coffee on an empty stomach can be harmful for seniors. Although coffee contains antioxidants and can be healthy in moderation, drinking it on an empty stomach can trigger a cascade of problems, especially as we age. 1. Stomach acid. Acid overload. Coffee stimulates gastric acid production. Without food in the stomach, this acid attacks the stomach lining, leading to acid reflux, indigestion, nausea, stomach pain, and bloating. Seniors often have W, so the damage happens faster. 2. Stress hormone spike. Caffeine increases cortisol, your stress hormone. In the early morning, cortisol levels are already naturally high. Adding coffee on top of that creates a surge, which may raise blood pressure, trigger irregular heartbeat, make you feel anxious or shaky, disrupt blood sugar control. For seniors with heart disease, hypertension, or diabetes, this spike can be dangerous. 3. Dehydration and brain fog. Coffee is a mild diuretic. It makes you lose water. Drinking it before rehydrating can lead to morning headaches, dry mouth, fatigue that lasts all day, brain fog, and dizziness. Mr. Fuck often felt like he was walking in a haze until noon. After we changed his routine, that fog lifted. A safer way to enjoy coffee. I didn't ask Mr. Fuck to give up coffee. Always tell you this, and I won't ask you either. But here's how to drink it safely. Drink a full glass of warm water first to rehydrate. Eat a small breakfast, a boiled egg, a banana, or toast. Then have your coffee. 30 to 60 minutes later. This simple shift protects your stomach, balances your energy, lowers the stress response, supports liver and kidney health. Mr. Fuck's follow-up. 2 weeks after changing his habit, he returned and smiled. "Now I eat half a sweet potato before my coffee. No more nausea. I actually enjoy it more." That's the beauty of small changes. They don't take away what you love. They help you enjoy it better and longer. So, if you've been drinking black coffee on an empty stomach for years, this might be your sign to rethink it. Not to give it up, but to give your body what it needs first, so your heart, liver, and stomach can greet the day in peace. Habit number 2. Starting your day with salty, processed foods like instant noodles or pickled dishes. Let me tell you about a morning that seemed perfectly normal, but was quietly harmful. Mrs. Thu, 76 years old, a sweet woman with silver hair and a voice like a songbird, told me, "Doctor, I love a hot bowl of instant noodles in the morning. Quick, easy, comforting. And I always add a bit of pickled mustard greens. I've been eating it like that for years." She said it with a smile, as if sharing a family tradition. But when I looked at her labs, I saw a different story. Her blood pressure was high. Her kidney function was declining. Her legs were swollen, and she often felt tired by mid-morning. This wasn't aging. This was salt overload, starting every single day. The hidden dangers of salty, processed breakfasts. In many Asian households, breakfast isn't always sweet or mild. It's often savory, salty, and heavily processed. Think instant noodles, pickled mustard greens, dried anchovies, salted eggs or meats. Soy sauce over rice. They feel familiar, but they come at a price. Here's what happens in the body. 1. Blood pressure spikes. Too much sodium in the morning can cause a sudden rise in blood pressure, especially in seniors whose arteries are already stiffened by age. This increases your risk of stroke, heart attack, nosebleeds, dizziness, and falls. 2. Kidneys work overtime. Your kidneys regulate fluid and filter waste. A salty breakfast forces them to retain more water, which leads to swollen legs or puffy face. Higher risk of kidney disease progression. Extra pressure on the heart. 3. Strain on the heart and liver. Sodium causes water retention, which increases the volume of blood the heart must pump. Over time, this enlarges the heart, burdens the liver, and raises risk for congestive heart failure. And instant noodles? They're low in nutrients, but high in sodium, often 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams per pack. MSG and preservatives. Saturated fats, if fried, zero fiber or vitamins. And yet, so many seniors eat them first thing in the morning. Why? Because it's quick, easy, cheap. But remember, cheap for the wallet can be costly for the body. Better alternatives to begin your day. You don't have to give up all savory foods, but consider switching to a bowl of boiled sweet potato or brown rice porridge, a slice of whole grain toast with avocado, steamed vegetables with a boiled egg. If using pickled vegetables, rinse them under water first to remove excess salt, and most importantly, limit processed packets, seasoning powders, and soy sauce. Add herbs, garlic, or lemon juice instead of salt for flavor. Back to Mrs. Thu. After just 1 month of replacing her instant noodle breakfast with steamed pumpkin and a soft boiled egg, her blood pressure dropped, her swelling went down, and she told me, "Doctor, I didn't know how heavy my mornings were until they became light again." Final thought. Morning is the time when your organs are waking up, especially the liver and kidneys. Flooding them with sodium right away is like starting your car by slamming on the gas. Gentle starts, warm foods, clean fuel. That's the way to protect your body and give your heart a peaceful beginning to each new day. Habit of 3, skipping breakfast entirely. The silent stress you never feel. Let me tell you about Mr. Dung, 78 years old, proud grandfather, retired history teacher. He used to arrive at my clinic in the late morning, always a bit pale, slightly dizzy, and sometimes shaky. One day, I asked him, "What do you usually eat for breakfast, Mr. Dung?" He smiled and waved his hand. "Nothing, Doc. I just drink warm water, take a short walk, and wait until lunchtime. I've been doing that for years. Saves time and keeps me lean." But I saw the signs. Blood sugar dropping below normal, irregular heartbeat, weakness in the legs, and elevated stress hormones, even at rest. That's when I had to gently break the news. Skipping breakfast may feel harmless, but for someone your age, it's not. Why breakfast matters more for seniors. When we sleep, our bodies fast for 8-10 hours. In the morning, the liver releases stored glucose into the bloodstream. But as we age, this process slows down, and the body becomes less efficient at regulating blood sugar and blood pressure on its own. If we don't eat anything, the brain doesn't get enough fuel. The heart works harder to pump blood, the liver is forced to overcompensate, muscles begin to break down for energy. This is why many seniors who skip breakfast feel lightheadedness, fatigue, irritability, difficulty focusing. Muscle loss over time. What skipping breakfast does to your organs. The heart fasting, beyond the natural overnight period, puts the body into a mild state of stress. This releases adrenaline and cortisol, which increase blood pressure, cause heartbeat irregularities, raise inflammation. For seniors with heart disease or hypertension, this can be dangerous. The brain runs on glucose. Skipping breakfast lowers blood sugar, leading to brain fog. Mood swings, slower memory recall. Higher fall risk from poor balance, muscles, and liver. Without protein or carbs in the morning, the body may start breaking down muscle tissue for energy. Over time, this contributes to frailty and increased dependence. The liver also works harder to stabilize energy levels, which can strain its already reduced function in older adults. What to do? Instead of skipping breakfast, you don't need a heavy meal, but you do need something to tell your body, "You're safe, the day has begun, let's heal." Here are simple starter ideas. A ripe banana plus a few almonds. A soft boiled egg plus warm oatmeal. Plain yogurt plus a spoon of chia seeds. A slice of whole grain toast plus a little mashed avocado. Even a small, nutritious bite can stabilize your blood sugar, lower morning stress hormones, support memory, energy, and mood, protect your liver and heart. Back to Mr. Dung. After 3 weeks of adding just half a boiled sweet potato and 1 egg to his morning, he returned to my office with a sparkle in his eye. "Doctor, I feel human again in the mornings." And that made me smile, because it's never too late to change. Final thought: if you're a senior who's been skipping breakfast, please understand this. It's not about eating more. It's about eating smart and on time. A simple morning meal is not just fuel, it's medicine for your brain, your heart, and your future. Habit number 4, drinking cold water. Immediately after waking, a shock to the system. Every morning, Mr. Hai, a 75-year-old retired electrician, had a routine he was proud of. I wake up, go straight to the fridge, pour a glass of cold water, and drink it all in one go. It wakes me up like nothing else. He smiled when he said that, but over time, he began to experience mild chest discomfort, slower bowel movements, occasional dizziness after breakfast. His wife noticed his hands were often cold, even in warm weather. When I asked more about his habits, that cold water routine stood out immediately. I explained, "Mr. Hai, your body is waking up slowly, like the sun rising, but you're throwing a bucket of icy water on it." Why cold water first thing can be harmful for seniors. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to sudden temperature changes, inside and out. Drinking cold water right after waking can shock your digestive system, constrict blood vessels, slow metabolism, and place sudden strain on your heart and liver. It feels refreshing, yes, but refreshing doesn't always mean safe. 1. Constriction of blood vessels and heart strain. Cold water causes the blood vessels in your stomach and digestive tract to constrict. This slows digestion and increases blood pressure temporarily. For seniors with hypertension or heart disease, this effect can trigger angina, chest pain, disrupt heart rhythm, increase the risk of early morning heart events. 2. Inhibits digestive function. Your digestive organs need warmth to wake up and begin processing food. Cold water slows down the movement of the intestines, which can lead to bloating, constipation, sluggish appetite. The liver and kidneys also work less efficiently in a cold internal environment. 3. Shocks the nervous system. The nervous system is sensitive to temperature. Drinking very cold water on an empty stomach can lead to headaches, dizziness, disrupted blood circulation, especially to the brain. For seniors with existing balance or memory issues, this may worsen symptoms. What should you do instead? Choose warm or room temperature water to gently rehydrate and stimulate your organs. Here's a simple morning hydration routine. Step 1. Sit down slowly after waking. Step 2. Sip a glass of warm water, Can add a slice of lemon or a few grains of salt if needed. Step 3. Wait 10 to 15 minutes before eating breakfast. This helps. Activate digestion, flush out toxins from overnight, warm your core. Prepare the liver and kidneys to begin their work, Mr. High's transformation. After making this one change, switching from cold to warm water, he returned to my clinic after 2 weeks and said, "Doctor, I don't feel that tightness in my chest anymore. I even go to the bathroom more regularly." It wasn't magic. It was just kindness to his own body. Final thought. Morning is not a race. Your heart, your liver, your entire system. They need a gentle beginning, not a shock. So tomorrow, instead of reaching for cold water, offer your body a warm, welcoming drink and start your day in harmony with your age and health. Habit number 5, starting your day with pastries or sugary drinks. Sweet taste, silent damage. Let me tell you about Auntie Leanne, 72 years old, always cheerful, always offering cookies to everyone who visits. When I asked about her breakfast, she chuckled, "Doctor, I've had the same thing for years. A sweet milk coffee and a piece of banh mi ngot or cake. Sometimes a croissant if my daughter buys it. It's quick, it's tasty, and I don't feel heavy afterward." It sounded harmless, even comforting, but her health told another story. Her blood sugar was unstable. She had frequent afternoon fatigue, and her cholesterol was creeping up, despite a small appetite. She had no idea that this innocent little habit was slowly stressing her pancreas, liver, and blood vessels every morning. What happens when you start the day with sugar? Pastries, sweet bread, sugary drinks. They are all simple carbohydrates that flood your bloodstream with glucose the moment you eat them. This causes a sharp spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash. It's a roller coaster that your body, especially in old age, can no longer ride safely. 1. Burdens the pancreas and increases diabetes risk. Your pancreas has to release a large amount of insulin very quickly to handle the sugar surge. For seniors, this process is already slower and less efficient. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance, higher risk of type 2 diabetes, fatigue after meals, and eventually, nerve damage, kidney issues, or vision loss, too. Promotes silent inflammation and fatty liver. Excess sugar, especially fructose from sweetened drinks or syrups, gets processed in the liver. When it's too much, the liver turns it into fat, causing fatty liver and long-term damage. This can also increase bad cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides, leading to plaque buildup in arteries. Higher risk of heart disease, stroke, or heart attack. 3. Sharp energy crash and mood swings. You may feel energized for the first 30 minutes after that sugary bite. But soon after, your blood sugar drops, leading to sudden tiredness, brain fog, irritability, cravings for more sugar, creating a vicious cycle. This is especially dangerous for seniors who live alone or need stable energy to prevent falls and maintain independence. Healthy sweet swaps. You don't have to give up all sweetness, but make gentler choices that nourish your body. So, what can you do if you still crave a bit of sweetness in the morning? You don't have to give it up entirely. Just choose smarter, more nourishing options. Instead of reaching for pastries or sweet cakes, try enjoying a slice of whole grain bread with a thin layer of peanut butter. It offers healthy fats and protein to keep you satisfied longer. Rather than starting your day with sugary milk coffee, switch to unsweetened tea or a small cup of black coffee with a splash of milk. You'll still enjoy the warmth and flavor, but without the blood sugar spike. Instead of drinking canned fruit juice, which is often loaded with hidden sugars, have some fresh fruit slices like banana, apple, or berries. They're naturally sweet and packed with fiber and antioxidants. And if you're used to condensed milk drinks, a great alternative is plain yogurt drizzled with a little honey and topped with oats. It's comforting, gut-friendly, and provides both sweetness and sustained energy. Small changes like these can make a big difference, protecting your heart, supporting your liver, and keeping your mornings joyful and energized. These alternatives provide stable energy fiber to slow sugar absorption, protein to support your muscles and organs, peace of mind for your liver and pancreas. Auntie Leanne's change. With some hesitation, she switched her morning routine to a warm boiled egg, 1 slice of multigrain toast, and a cup of tea with just a few drops of honey. 2 weeks later, she said, "Doctor, I still feel satisfied, but I don't get sleepy after breakfast anymore. I even started watering my plants again." Final thought. Breakfast sets the tone for your entire day. If you feed your body sugar, it responds with struggle. If you feed it balance, it gives you clarity, calm, and long-lasting strength. So tomorrow morning, skip the sugary pastry and choose something that loves your body back. Final message: a good morning can heal more than you think. So, my dear friends, this morning we've walked together through 2 different paths, and both are equally powerful. We saw how just 5 simple foods, like whole grain bread, bananas, sweet potatoes, yogurt, and a boiled egg, can gently support your heart, liver, and kidneys. These humble choices, when eaten with care, bring energy, clarity, and strength to your day. Then we looked at the hidden side of breakfast, 5 habits that many seniors follow without even realizing the harm. Skipping breakfast, drinking black coffee on an empty stomach, starting with salty instant noodles, gulping down cold water, and beginning the day with sugary pastries and sweet drinks. These are not signs of weakness or carelessness. They're simply habits, built over time, passed down, sometimes out of convenience or comfort. But as I always tell my patients, your age may go up, but your health doesn't have to go down with it. Change just one small thing each morning, and your body will thank you for years to come. One morning, one choice, one new life. Mr. Dung switched from no breakfast to sweet potato and an egg. Auntie Leanne replaced sugary bread with toast and tea. Mr. Hai warmed his water before drinking, and Mrs. Thu let go of her salty noodle packets in favor of steamed vegetables. None of them made drastic changes. They simply chose to treat their mornings as a gift, not a rush. You can too. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes and rise from bed, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I give my body today that brings it peace? Thank you for sharing this morning with me. If you found today's video helpful, if even one tip made you pause and reflect, I kindly ask you to like this video, share it with a parent, a neighbor, or a loved one, and subscribe to Dr. Kim's Home Clinic. Because this channel isn't just about information, it's about transformation, one gentle morning at a time. Thank you for trusting me to walk this journey with you. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, may your mornings be warm, your heart be calm, and your health shine brighter every day.